Earth Day 41, a report card on how New Hampshire's laws and lawmakers are safeguarding our environmental future. Hello, I'm Richard Ager. Welcome to New Hampshire Outlook. Well, on to another kind of environmental bill, the budget. Because there have been a range of cuts proposed for DES, your agency. Amy, you did a story about a fellow named Andy Lang who raises ocean mussels in the ocean. How would he be affected? I think he's a good example.
Yeah, he started this business 2005, 2006, and he's the first in the nation to do this sort of open ocean aquaculture with blue mussels. And you basically have these lines where these mussels grow, and it takes a couple of years for those to come to harvest. He's one of, I think, maybe 3 people who have these commercial licenses. He says it can be upwards of a $500,000 business, he expects. But what's happening is what's proposed in the DES budget cuts would be to get rid of this shellfish harvest program, which would basically put him out of business because it would eliminate the person who tests the water. Without testing the water, you could have the situation where somebody consumes a shellfish that has a disease and can make you very sick and actually kill you. So there's no way that a person like Andy Lang could bring in his shellfish for harvest, could have anybody basically consume them.
Well, is that an example, Representative Drone, of the need for some government programs? To create an environment where businesses can thrive. I mean, you'd have to have inspection or...
I don't think so. If it's a viable business, then he could test the water himself to prove that it's safe and bring his product to market. It's similar to the Energy Star thing with our homes. If the Energy Star money runs out, we still keep building Energy Star homes, whether that money is there or not. Because that's our principle, that's what our standard is.
So everyone should do their own testing? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying if this is going to jeopardize his business, rather than let his business go away, I would say, hey, let's start a testing regimen here, and let's test the water, prove it's safe, and bring our product to market.
I understand that some of the funding for the laboratories that would be doing the testing is going away as well as part of this budget cuts.
He could go to a private lab.
Well, actually, you can't. I mean, the private labs essentially don't exist. Once a state says you cannot fish in these waters, you can't fish in these waters, another state couldn't come in and fish in those waters. So it has less to do with who can test the waters than the state saying, our organization cannot test the waters, if I'm correct, because it has to do with you have to be certified. It takes a number of years to test the waters correctly. There's just no private labs that do this.
Although there is the program that's currently set up. Renee...
But that's a good point. So this is not a water testing regimen. This is a set of state regulations that are inflexible and can't be adapted. Because if a free market lab was allowed to step in and do the testing, I think everything could be solved here.
What we're looking at is sort of a compact in the New England base where, in fact, you have a litany of testing in different locations, and you do it over a long term that you can see trending. And once the state, which has been very active in this program, it allows shellfish harvesters to market their stuff not only in New Hampshire but to Massachusetts and Maine and other states.
Because they have a seal of approval?
That's correct. So what needs to happen is that the quality of the monitoring, the locational areas, and it isn't just for this one harvest bed, it is in the Great Bay area. So the program is meant to, in fact, ensure public health and protection, but in the long term also give one that is in this entrepreneurial marketing concept. And I think we have pending now 3 or 4 people that are looking to get into aquaculture. So we hope it's going to be a budding business in New Hampshire.
Now, do these cuts also extend to other water monitoring, for example, rivers, lakes?
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of volunteer action that checks those on a regular basis, needs the supervision of the state, and would we then lose that volunteer force?
Yes, among the DES cuts within the water arena, we'll be losing staffing that does public beach and pools and spas, the lakes program coordinators, the rivers program coordinators. So we'll basically not have any monitoring for cyanobacteria and all sorts of things. But the key here about this monitoring is it's not one-stop shopping. What it is it's looking at water quality over time. What we're trying to develop, and we've developed 25 years of trending at the agency, so we can tell a particular lake or pond what its history's been and which way is it going. And I think the important part is that it allows not only DES, but citizens that are involved, and we have such an active Lakes and Rivers program, that they can in fact look at behavioral patterns and try and say, well, let's say if we need to target phosphorus or nitrate like we do in the seacoast, what are the behavioral patterns that are going to make this get better as time goes on? So this isn't just this budget season. This is a long-term issue.
Are those functions that the market can fill, do you think?
Absolutely. I think they could learn something from milfoil here. If you look at what the Lakes Region Associations are doing in a public-private partnership to combat milfoil, if the Great Bay Estuary Group, let's say, got together and worked with DES and said, hey, let's take our volunteer base, let's take some private funding, let's keep the testing going, I can see where this would work, especially the guy Andy Lang, that's raising the blue mussels. If he got a group together and said, hey, we want to keep, this is a good business that we got going here, let's keep it going, and said, let's get a public-private partnership going here, I think it would be a good thing. If the only way that his mussel farm can exist is with state subsidies, then I don't think it should exist in the first place.
What about it sounds like public health concerns in terms of monitoring rivers and lakes, though.
Sure. That's where the public-private partnership could come in and address that. It's working on milfoil. I think it could work on this.